reconstructed what happened here, read the story in the rock. So here is the origin of Crater Lake according to geologists. Long ago, there was no lake. There was a high mountain. We now call it Mount Mazama. Its peak was 12,000 feet above sea level, or 1 mile above the present lake level. Mount Mazama was a volcano. It formed from many hundreds of eruptions over a period of 400,000 years. Blocks of pumice rock, clouds of ash, lava flows emerged from out of the volcano, and then emerged from the ground and fell back to earth and built multiple cones and domes. And those cones and domes grew together into a single towering composite volcano, Mount Mazama. At some point in the mountain's history, molten magma hot liquid rock started to pool under the mountain and created a magma chamber, a grand lake of hot molten rock. And more molten magma kept coming from underground and filled the magma chamber. And then, sometime around 8,000 years ago, a slow viscous lava flow came out of the mountain and cooled down and solidified and plugged up what had been its main eruptive vent. The mountain was capped, but molten magma kept coming from underground, and it filled the magma chamber and overfilled it. And the magma chamber came under tremendous pressure. And then, 7,700 years ago, Mount Mazama had its climactic eruption. A towering pillar of ash and pumice surged from out of the volcano through a vent. And let's see, can I get one of you fellows to be my assistant? Hold this up, share with everybody. The pillar of ash, yeah, go ahead and stand right here if you want. The pillar of ash rose 30 miles into the air. It towered above the snow-capped peaks. It filled the skies. Within that great cloud of ash, lightning flashed and thunder boomed. The mountain threw out glowing blocks of pumice rock and across the landscape, and ash fell from the sky like rain. Ash from the eruption blanketed an area including all or parts of 8 different western states and 3 Canadian provinces. That pillar of ash and rock hung over the volcano for a number of days, and then that huge cloud collapsed. And that was when the eruption became devastating to life. Pyroclastic flows, rivers of super hot ash and gas and rock, raced down the mountain and over the valleys at 100 miles per hour. Traveled 35 miles from the eruption site. They incinerated the forest and obliterated all life in their path. Many Native Americans and countless plants and animals must have died in the eruption. And at the end of the eruption, so much material had emptied from out of that underground magma chamber that it emptied. It became a big empty hole. An empty hole does not support the weight of a 12,000-foot mountain very well. The mountain collapsed down into the hole. The peak of the mountain fell 10,000 feet straight down. And the sound was so loud that you probably could have heard it clearly in Denver, Colorado. And when the smoke and ash cleared, Mount Mazama was gone. Where it
Hi, Eric.
Where it had been,
Go do your job.
there was a deep, deep pit, almost 4,000 feet deep and 6 miles wide. Over a period of around 400 or 500 years, rain and snow filled the pit about halfway to become Crater Lake. Right, so I guess. Thank you. All right, let's give a hand to my assistant. Although the story they tell is a little bit different, geologists too view Crater Lake as a very special place. You might even say a sacred place, because it provides a rare opportunity to study the interior of a grand composite volcano and learn about its inner workings. When Mount Mazama was 12,000 feet tall, it looked quite similar to Mount Rainier, or Mount Hood, or Mount Shasta. Now it's like what one of those mountains would be if one could somehow take a God-sized ice cream scoop and remove the top and see the inner architecture and plumbing. And geologists have written scientific papers and master's and PhD theses about the rocks here, reconstructing what happened. Some geologists have built careers out of studying Mount Mazama. Hence, for many geologists, Crater Lake is part of a personal origin story, the story of how one became a successful and noted geologist. And with all of these stories in mind, I have a parting thought. Maybe for someone here, Crater Lake could be part of your own personal origin story. You might leave this place changed, leave with a new understanding of how precious Crater Lake and places like it are, and a new desire to do your part to help preserve and protect them. Whatever effect this landscape has on you, I do hope that you get to spend some quality time staring into the deep blue before you depart. Thank you, visitors.